Hi, everyone, and welcome to this episode of The Theory of Why. On today's show, we're going to talk a little bit about how your mindset can shift and you can start to look at your nonprofit like a business. Now, I'm not going to run into 3 or 4 things that you need to do right now as action items because frankly, for me, this is more of a one-on-one conversation that I like having with nonprofits. It's a one-on-one conversation that I feel like through the screen right now, I'm able to have with you. It's something that really started to dawn on me since the beginning of the pandemic back in March of 2020 when FireSpring embarked on strategy sessions for nonprofits all over the globe. From March of 2020 all the way through about September, we ended up doing over 120 strategy sessions with nonprofits of all shapes and sizes, different industries, different missions, and really all over the globe, from Mexico to Canada to the United States, all the way over to Europe. And one thing that I learned is there are some nonprofits that think, act, and run like a business, and there are others that think, act, and run like a nonprofit. Now, I'm not saying that one is the correct way and one is the incorrect way. I think that you have to actually have a little bit of a blend between both the nonprofit side of things and the for-profit side of things. And really where I end up in that is a for-impact organization. When individuals donate their time or their money, they're actually investing in you, they're investing in their community, they're investing in the individuals that you impact, whether that's you're fighting global climate change or you're fighting against the damage that happens to the oceans, or you're trying to solve hunger in your community. Whatever it is, they're investing in that. And so if you can position yourself as a for-impact organization and view the individuals that give back to your cause as investors rather than as donors, you start to view this in a much different light. Now, I do have a couple of action items, but I think they're too big to go straight into a list. So a couple of ways that I see nonprofits do this well in terms of running this like a business is multiple streams of revenue. Too often I meet an organization that has, hey, we've got individual donors, we've got top level donors, and maybe we've got some foundational stuff, but that's it. They might rely on grants versus individual donors, but I don't see them going the extra step and looking at maybe it's retail, maybe it's e-commerce, maybe it's even real estate or selling a product that is just going to deliver revenue that allows them to create a bigger impact. One thing I've been talking about lately a lot is actually even having ad space on their website or in a daily newsletter or in a monthly annual appeal or something like that that goes out where you can sell ad space to deliver income for you. And one reason I like that is because your constituents, your donors, your investors, if you will, aren't going to be offended if you ask for ad space, if you start to create different streams of revenue, because that's only going to increase the amount of impact that you can create in your community. That's ultimately what they want too. The other option that I love, and the other mindset, if you will, is the way that we structure our teams, right? Is looking at this from a much different perspective rather than just saying, hey, we have a fundraiser, we've got a communications person, and then we've got our board. Whether you're using EOS or you're doing some sort of a culture engagement or a structural engagement, look at your team as if you're running a business and say, okay, what does the overhead look like? How much do we need in order to have success? And how much do we need both in dollars and in individual people and talent and skills in order to create the most amount of impact on a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly basis in your community? Now, that's just scratching the surface of this conversation. And I think there's so much more what you can do looking at your nonprofit like a business. But your challenge for today is really simple. All you have to do is start to look at your nonprofit like a business, like an entity that needs revenue in order to create impact. And if you start to view your individual donors as investors in your community, you're going to create a much bigger impact in the long run. That'll do it for today's show. Have a great night.